guys are doing a great thing. It's such a uncomfortable topic to talk about, especially for a guy, young guys in their early 20s. And, I'm glad that, I could tune in and, listen to you guys.
Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the broadcast. Phone number 888-659-3727. It is wonderful to be here this Friday afternoon, December the 5th, 2025.
Yes.
Time just
it just hit me. We're about to hit 2026. Wow.
The time is just flying, brother.
It is, man.
Time is just flying. Time is ticking, and I can tell you that for your hair loss sufferers, time is running out. I just sent an image to our friend Tom Gilbanks over at actually directly of a
over at the UK.
Yeah, over in the UK. And he wanted to see an example of a guy who, because I keep talking about, like, transplanting your crown is like the last thing you want to do, especially when you're young. It could be done. Yeah. It could look okay if it's managed well, but you really have to kind of know where you are in your hair loss journey, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Have an idea of where you might be progressing. It really, those grafts really should be saved for that area. I mean, you want to work on the hairline, mid-anterior scalp, maybe temporal points, frame your face. That's like the last thing you do. Send him an image of a 22, or he was like 23 when he got the surgery done. Mm-hmm. It's only 10 years later.
Poof.
Target on the top of his head. He lost hair so quickly, even on medication. Just got on medication after the surgery.
I was going to say, got on medication after the surgery.
Yeah, a couple of years after the surgery, because he was continuing to lose hair. So he had 3 procedures total, and then finally, this was done in Europe, the surgeon, who was a plastic surgeon, it's wild, suggested that he have the artificial fibers implanted.
Oh, fuck me.
Scalp got totally infected, of course, because they never work. The fact that they are somehow still being sold is crazy.
Well, they're banned in most developed countries.
Right.
There are very few countries where it's still legal.
But it's amazing that the company is still...
Japan and Italy being 2 of them, which is unbelievable.
The company is still selling them. People are still willing to perform this procedure on people. And sadly, consumers think it's a decent idea, a reasonable idea to have something artificial that is half in your body and half outside of your body. Mm-hmm. Like that's going to work.
No one will know.
Yeah. So anyway, this poor guy is screwed. And what's interesting about this guy is he's an orthopedic surgeon now.
Oh, my God.
So he was either in medical school or just getting out of medical school and going into a residency at the time of his first procedure. This is a doctor who did not get on medication right away, but was not informed or advised to. And he's done. So for all you guys who are saying, just transplant my crown, I know that I'm a man of a certain age. And even Joe says, you might be able to get away with it. What's the point? What if I need those grafts? Or I'd say, you know what? I'm tired of Rob Hellner calling me a 5-head. Maybe I'll do a little, shoring up of my hairline. Why not use those 2,000 grafts that I would need to fill in this balding area and make some decent use out of them if I were to get surgery. No one understands that. I'm not that concerned about my thinning spot. Put a little paint on there, you can't even see it.
Yeah, that's just it. It's like, I was just thinking to myself, it's like, I should do an actual consultation for you on air.
Would you have to touch my hair?
Talk about your... Don't touch my hair, man. But, talk about your donor supply, have a look at that. Look at your hairline on camera.
That's once we hit 1 million followers on Instagram, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, there we go. And but look, as it stands, like from a experienced consultant point of view, if you were someone that walked into my office and asked me, how many grafts do I need? I wouldn't even tell you how many grafts you need. I would ask you, why do you want a hair transplant? And you'd be like, and you'd be thinking to yourself, "Oh, this guy's stupid. He doesn't see the thinning spot." But it comes down to, the issue of, is it a really? Yeah, I try to find the mindset of whoever's asking for surgery, and it's like, well, what have you done to reverse your loss before you came in here? That kind of thing, the basics. But in your case, and it has nothing to do with the fact that you're 60. When you're 61, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the fact that you're 60 now. It looks far better than anyone online expected. Everyone's like, I knew what it looked like, but everyone was expecting it to be like this chasm of scalp.
You've actually seen me where it's like
remotely like that.
Like it's 2 days unshowered. I take the hat off, and you can kind of see through the whole thing. You've seen that on camera, but
yeah, but
it's still there's hair throughout it.
Of course, and it's like it's the same situation when I used to get photos for a consultation, and it's almost like they comb their hair to make it look as bad as it possibly can. Standing in their bathroom with the worst lighting, hair looking like they just got out of a wind tunnel, and expecting some sort of professional assessment to be made. It's like, you're completely missing the point. The point is to have enough hair to style and to not worry about this kind of thing.
And what I found funny is there were young guys, I got a lot of comments, who were like, "Oh yeah, so what? He combed his hair." First of all, I didn't comb my hair. If I combed my hair, that stuff wouldn't have been like that. But it doesn't make a difference. Even if I comb my hair, who cares? I'm still showing you what it looks like in the morning, unwashed. I mean, what do these guys want? What do they want? What are they expecting? Not just from me, but part of this was an exercise to kind of show people. And also I did different lighting. So I had one image or a couple of images with no paint on, with harsh light, so you can kind of see through into my scalp. One with paint on in harsh light. You can still see a little scalp. One with no paint in harsh light, but not as harsh. It looks fuller than the one with paint. That's the way it goes. Almost every image you see online is bullshit, people. If you're buying a product, a hair growth product, you're seeing before and after pictures, nonsense. I can take an image, and Joe knows this because he's done this. He showed me this. 10 seconds apart, tilt my head slightly, and I can say that is my after shot using this treatment. What's the treatment? An ace comb and a tilt of the head. That's it.
Yeah.
All these
you don't even have to touch it.
No, I don't.
You don't even have to touch it. Just the difference between flash and no flash on your camera.
Yeah.
Can make it look completely different.
But even if I use my bathroom light, which is very harsh, if I just tilt it slightly forward or back, it's a different head.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
Well, to finish my thought, I would tell you,
I didn't know that you didn't finish.
As a patient, that surgery, it could go either way. You could have an improvement, but you could also have both temporary and permanent shock, simply because there's so much hair competing for the
blood supply
resources that are already there.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because IHS member Dr. Yazdan in Newport Beach is the only guy that publicly came online to say there's a chance you'll be worse off. Mm-hmm. Do not even consider it.
Yeah.
No other doctor they were saying, don't get it, whatever, but no other doctor had the balls to be honest, because everyone thinks when you tell the truth online that it's somehow going to dissuade people from having surgery with them.
But some doctors were saying absolutely have a hair transplant.
I got a public offer of a free hair transplant
Yeah.
right in that thread. And I had several offers, two from Brazil, actually. Oh, you know, the other person, actually, Tony Rooston didn't do it publicly, but he wrote me privately and said, just take oral minoxidil. You can grow it all back.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. He's a good guy. I
He's
don't
a
know.
good guy, yeah.
I don't know why we don't talk more. I don't have a relationship with him except a little bit online, but we should, because he's always been like a good dude.
One thing about Tony Rooston is he's super big on education.
Yeah.
And he has fun putting together different presentations to educate not just his colleagues but also his patients. Where he has a production crew that I don't know if he does now, but he used to do this. Like he used to do like these big productions to do education. Really, really impressive with his commitment, and he does good work. Like I've always liked his work. He likes doing coverage. He likes finding different ways to get coverage on guys with a lot of hair loss, difficult repair cases. He likes taking on challenges like that. I've always liked him. I
think he might be. He's been involved. He's been involved so long that I think he certainly. I think he likes what he does and he respects what we do. But I also think that it kind of like he's so involved with the politicians that maybe he doesn't want to be public about it. Yeah. You know, and that's unfortunate because he could really help a lot of people with us. I mean, I want all the good guys together in 2026. I'm going to make that happen. And Tony, if you're listening to this broadcast, I'm going to contact you, brother. You know, we should definitely talk because, like, your colleagues, and I showed him there's a Brazilian doctor that said us to have surgery. Mm-hmm. Your colleagues don't give a shit. And honestly, they don't give a shit about you. Everyone's all friendly at the meetings, but the reality is we have an opportunity to really change lives. Phone number is 888-659-3727. Let's just get to the phones.
Let's do it.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Pat from D.C. area.
Hey, Pat from D.C. area. What's going on?
I'm good. I just wanted to
what's the D.C. area? Is that like Chevy Chase? Is that Bethesda? What?
Arlington, Virginia.
Arlington, okay.
Yeah, it's like I could ask you guys a couple questions about your ear.
Sure.
One thing I wanted to ask you about is, I've been doing Propecia or dutasteride, and I'm trying to, salvage what's left of my hair for almost 20 years now, and hopefully it's helped me maintain some of it, but, I've definitely lost ground and have talked with some doctors about upping the dose, and was thinking about, rather than upping the oral dose, just adding on either topical dutasteride or topical finasteride, hoping maybe it might be less systemic, upping the dose and maybe getting better results without.
Are you having side effects taking oral finasteride?
Not horrible. I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, I'm 56. The sex drive is, probably going anyway. And I also take SSRIs for depression, which, affects it too. Definitely had more side effects on dutasteride, which I was on for a couple years, and then switched back to finasteride just because I had less side effects on that.
Did you have bloating while you're on dutasteride? Just side question.
No, when I tried oral minoxidil, I got horrible swelling under my eyes, but I didn't have that with dutasteride.
Okay. So you've been taking oral finasteride at what dosage?
I take the Proscar and cut it into 4s, so whatever that is.
Name brand Proscar, good man. Well, if you're not quite sure about your side effect situation, if it were me, and it has been me, I would simply just up my existing dosage and like titrate up. Don't just willy-nilly just start doubling your intake or whatever. But I would figure out the dosage I want to take. Like in this case, it would most likely be doubled from 1.25 to 2.5 based on the nature of your tablet. I would consider titrating up by doing a 2.5 once a week instead of just just the 1.25, and do that for a month, and then evaluate at the end of that month if you feel any different. If the answer is no, then push on to the second month where you're taking half a pill twice a week for a month, and try that, and so on and so forth until you get to the point where you're taking 2.5 daily instead of 1.25. And of course, I'm not a doctor. You can talk to your doctor about this and see what he thinks about it, or she. But if you think that it's working, or at the very least you're not certain it's not working, I think that's probably the more logical approach, because I look at it like this: even with the same medication, if you change the delivery method, that in of itself can potentially trigger an effluvium that could set you back. And my big thing is I want to avoid that as much as possible. I want other people to avoid that as much as possible, because when you're already trying to deal with your hair loss, one of the most disturbing things that you can see is an increase in shedding while you're treating your hair loss. It's like, what the actual F is going on? This is supposed to be working. It's doing the opposite. What's up? So I think that if you maintain the delivery method that you've got, which is the oral medication, that's going to reduce the likelihood of some sort of effluvium effect from adding a topical version of what you're already doing.
Now, was he going to add it on top of the oral?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking of adding it instead of doubling the oral.
Listen, we're both not doctors, but Joe's right. And I can tell you that anyone that has contacted us or that I've read about that has either switched to topical or added topical has had issues. I don't know why. So I recently, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, started to titrate my oral dosage. And now I'm taking 2 5-milligram doses twice a week. And I essentially just added, started to do it like every 10 days, taking a dose. And then I slowly got to, basically every third day. I think, I kind of felt things were getting a little worse. I was noticing a little bit of an effluvium for a while, I thought, noticing some retrograde. And I think I've stabilized things. And I've been on this drug for 30 years. So that's definitely the way that I would do it. And I think that was a good suggestion from Joe for sure. You're already doing well on it. You don't know what your adverse. You're not really having any adverse side effects. You're saying that okay, you're getting older. You're also on SSRIs. Maybe things have slowed down for you a little bit, but it's probably unlikely it's the finasteride, given your long-term experience with it.
Yeah, and I can try titrating it up and see. Always cut it back down too. So
yeah. It's the same medication, and the thing is, once you start to use a topical medication, these are compounded meds. You do not know where the drugs are being sourced. Right now, you're on name brand finasteride, on Proscar, that you've been taking for 20 years. Once you add a generic, you don't know what you're getting. You know what I mean?
The name brand Proscar is when I was trying to get the name brand dutasteride, that was the Avenard, that was crazy expensive. The Proscar is not as bad.
Yeah, I think you can get it in Canada from Canadian pharmacies. They're a lot less expensive than the U.S. for Avenard. But yeah, it's insane, really.
Yeah.
It may be changing soon.
We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, but I was also going to say that I saw your photo from a week or two ago of the back of that you had posted on Instagram, and I would pay money to have the hair that you have. Spencer,
how much?
So. I don't know. I'm looking at spending $20,000 on a transplant, so maybe at least that. But one other thing I just wanted to.
I appreciate that, but I need people to know it is all still a partial sham. Like in certain light, if I go out in the daylight and wet my hair, you guys would be like, "You're fucking bald." That's just the way that it is, But with a dry head of hair, even in bright light, I kind of just look like I'm balding on top. But it's pretty okay. So I feel very fortunate. I just don't want people to somehow think that, and again, I appreciate it, but trust me, it's stressful. My reality is like it's still to this day. At 60 years old, it still bugs me.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
But I just want another thing. I was looking. I've met with various doctors over the years, and I was kind of close to pulling the trigger with Dr. Schaefer and Bernstein in New York, and I'd met with her via video, and I made sure they sent me some photos that was actually her work, because you can't really tell who's on the website.
Right.
And and I just kind of, the final thing I wanted was just to talk to a couple of patients, and they couldn't, I don't think they worked very hard at it, but they couldn't find anyone that was willing to just chat briefly with me about their experience there, and that kind of was, off-putting.
You want to know? You want to know how clinics work with that regard? When patients new patients ask to speak to old patients. Well, I'll tell you my experience. When I first started working in clinic 3 years ago, I was getting that question not very often, because it hadn't been injected into the shared consciousness of patients that were doing their research online, because it was a new concept still in the early 2000s. But as it started to become more prevalent with people understanding how to do research, that you should ask, and part of it due to me saying, you should ask to speak to patients if you can, or if it's possible. I can tell you right now that most clinics, when they get that question, it's not a red flag, but it's kind of like a eye-rolling moment. It's like, fuck, I got another one asking for patients to talk to, because it's a pain in the ass for a clinic to go through some results of patients and say, all right, I wonder if they'd be interested in or okay with talking with the new patient that wants to learn more about what we can do. So I had the foresight early on to actually indicate which patients or to identify patients that might be, as far as their personality goes, okay talking with new patients.
Who the fuck is calling me?
That's a good question. So that when people like you would ask us, I'd already have a lineup of people saying, yeah, sure, have someone call me. Most clinics don't do that. I know maybe 5 that do that. But it's a hassle. It's like, oh God, I gotta, I can spend, 2 hours calling people to get phone numbers for this guy, or I can move on to the next 7 people that have questions about booking surgery, that kind of thing.
It's a hassle, but it really is such an easy marketing opportunity. And all you have to do is say, look, we'll give you $5,000 off the surgery if you're willing to speak to patients anytime we ask you to. And a lot of guys would be like, yeah, absolutely.
You want to know why that's not such a great idea?
Well,
because you get that discount and then it doesn't work out.
Well, okay. Let me correct that. You basically give them a credit once it works out. And you say, listen, we're going to give you a $5,000 credit for whatever services you want or whatever. Since you're happy, if you want your, come in for PRP, or if you want, the nonsensical scalp massages, whatever people are selling in their clinics.
So basically that's one of the things that I used to tell clinics that would come on board with me, because it's not just, I make a video talking about how, why I think they're worth considering. I work with them on the back end to improve their internal operations. And I won't name names, but I had a doctor I used to work with in Northern Europe, that when I explained this to him, because he had amazing results, but he couldn't get anyone to talk to other patients, much less go online and or allow for photos to be taken to be put in their gallery. I told him exactly that. I'm like, look, you do your follow-ups. You come across these patients that have really nice result. You give them a credit for. This poor guy's like,
round 2. I just want help. Why are you guys telling me the story of the whole business, the back end of the shit?
Because that's what you get when you engage with Joe and Spencer. But it's like, set up some sort of incentive. And he looked at me, he goes, well, I can't pay patients to do testimonials. I'm like, you're not paying a patient for a testimonial. Are you stupid? And it turns out he was, because he never.
There's a lot of really dumb guys in this field.
Yeah, I know.
But I really like the results at Bernstein. I just like the very conservative approach and just the sort of, they don't do the straight kind of hairlines. And
well, if you're looking in that area, did you look at Dr. Doran in Manhattan or Dr. Wesley in Manhattan?
I feel like I looked at Dr. Wesley, and I think I looked a little bit at there was sort of a process of sending some photos. I might look into that. I'm in D.C. actually, but there wasn't anyone around here that I was comfortable with. So
you've also got Jerry Cooley just down in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's true.
Much closer than
I saw Dr. Cooley a few years ago, and I did like him, and I lost my deposit with him because I booked, and then I chickened out. And he's another one that I might regroup with. But
maybe he'll work that in if you ever decide to have surgery with him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, but no, I think that was before the pandemic, actually. So, I mean, it's kind of put up or shut up time. It's either buzz it off or do the procedure at this point. So.
Well,
anyway.
Look, you never know. You never know what's going to happen when you up your finasteride. And have you considered maybe trying to titrate your low-dose oral minoxidil so that maybe you could mitigate any of those side effects that you experience?
I got the absolute lowest I could tolerate was a quarter of the 2.5, and even then I would occasionally get a little bit of swelling, but even half the 2.5 tablet, I was just getting like pockets of water under my eyes for whatever reason. I was super sensitive to it.
Well, did you try it with like a low-carb, not that crazy amount of sodium diet for a few weeks?
No, but I guess
I'm just saying people don't think of that, but I mean, you really even on this medication, it's difficult for your body to retain water if you're not eating a lot of carbs.
Yeah.
So just little changes like that, which is not easy for a lot of people, can mitigate a lot of these side effects, and then your body kind of gets used to it, and you can continue the medication without experiencing the side effects. Just
do you think?
Food for thought.
Yeah.
What was that?
Dr. Schaefer had said that. Dr. Schaefer said you can get some, efficacy from even that. I don't even a quarter of a 2.5 dose. So I am still on that, even though I still get a little bit of swelling here and there. But I haven't. I've been on it for 3 or 4 months now. I haven't noticed any shedding or any improvement.
Well, it's good it's great that you haven't had any shedding yet. So I mean, stay on it for a while, and if you want, consider talking to her, whoever you're working with now, and consider titrating that while you are watching what you're putting into your body.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible you don't. Listen, I have known guys in their 50s who got on this medication, and they grew back so much hair. Like, I'm jealous as far as like the retrograde that I'm dealing with, and I am concerned it's starting to recede in the nape more, and I'm really considering either another vasodilator, which I may talk about, or low-dose oral minoxidil, because right now Joe is the old man guinea pig that I'm looking towards. He just started himself, so.
Oh, okay. I'd say last I'd heard, I know you guys.
Announcement ruined.
Oh, I did see that headline. You were going to hear about your stack today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Cool. I'm sitting outside a holiday party I actually need to get into. So
all right, go have a drink for me, brother. I haven't had a drink in a long time. Enjoy.
Sounds like a real monster of a party if you're calling us about your hair.
It's called the Ball Show. No, listen, I've seen guys.
I got to get you guys while I can. So,
yeah, I've experienced guys who are like, they have like a date over, and the date's in the other room, and they're secretly calling this goddamn show.
Guys, I need your help.
Yeah. All right, brother. Listen, good luck.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call.
888-659-3727. Just to let you know, I mean, there's more of a delay when we hook up this way. We may have to figure out a way to fix that.
Go get better internet, man. Come on. I got 3 gigabits, man.
I got 1 gigabit.
See?
Is it a gigabyte? Isn't it a gigabyte?
No, gigabit.
Gigabit.
Yep.
whatever.
People say gigabyte, but it's gigabit. It's smaller.
Gigabyte is smaller than a gigabit?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
No, got that backward. Megabit is smaller than megabyte.
Mega, yeah, but this is a giga.
I know. So it's the same thing. It's with the suffix bit or byte. A bit
right.
smaller than a byte.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Okay, let's see who this is.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Spence.
Yeah.
Yo, how you doing?
Hey, Rez, what's going on, brother?
Rez.
What's up, Rez?
Not too much. How you doing, Joe?
Can't complain, man.
You good?
Doing well. Busy.
Oh, that's good. Spence, I say this with the most love and respect to you, but what the fuck are you talking about? You're not even bald. You have so much hair. Joe, would you slap him for me? Because it's like, if you look like me and Joe, you would have offed yourself already.
Let me ask you this: Are you going to go to a personal trainer who is fat and out of shape, or do you want to go to someone who's been able to figure out a way to dodge all the bullets and somehow maintain the semblance of a head of hair?
Yeah, but it's not even a semblance. You have like a nice fluffy bush of hair. You have like a lot. There isn't even any bald spots on the back of your head. It's all full of hair. Like if I took a picture in that light.
All right. Well, listen. I'll just close up shop and let you guys suffer alone. What do I give a shit?
Like what you need to understand is he just likes being part of the group.
I know that.
You know.
I know.
He just wants to be one of us.
It's like, Joe, you've seen his hair in person. Is it really that? Is there a lot of baldness there in person? Because he says, "Oh, I look in the mirror and
it's worse in person.
It's worse.
I'm suffering. Okay, I'm suffering, Rez.
Oh,
I called 3 doctors when I was still in LA and asked them to write him a script.
No, if you went on minoxidil or oral minoxidil,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Rez. So there's a young guy, Tom Gilbanks, who's now in the hair world, and he's helping a lot of kids. This is a guy who had pretty significant diffuse thinning at a young age. He took medication, reversed it, and now he's out there educating hair loss sufferers. Is he not allowed to do what he does because he actually saved all of his hair, including his hairline?
No, I'm just jealous of you guys, honestly. I mean, I get it. That'd be fantastic.
Don't be jealous.
I wish more
multiple surgeries to get where I am.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what would you do if you had my hair or Joe's hair? It'd be a wrap. You wouldn't even know what to do with yourself, Vince. It's like, but there are a lot of people that don't even respond to medications even over 30 years the way you have.
I know.
So it's amazing.
I wrote the book,
really
The Bald Truth. Why would I write a book telling people it was the first complete guide to the prevention and treatment of hair loss? That concept never existed. No. And the reason I wrote that book is because the industry that you were in, Rez, was trying to destroy my life. They were willing to perform surgery on a young kid who had really little visible hair loss. I happened to find medication early in my career, not early enough, but pretty early. And I decided to expose the industry that you were in and let people know, you know what? It actually is possible now to slow the progression of your hair loss, regrow hair with medication. I also wrote about the natural herbal supplements that I believed lower DHT. That's all I had before finasteride was out. So I wrote about that too. And I believe that these natural products can lower your DHT to some degree. I believe it slowed things down for a lot of people. It could be years for some people. And these were all options that no one even talked about. I wrote about it because of my success story. Not because I went out there and got screwed up like Joe.
Or like me, or a lot of other people.
Right. So I had the wherewithal, luckily, to not let someone destroy me and disfigure me early, because I would not be behind this mic right now. Now, I may have been, maybe if I was able to resolve things, but my life would have been much different if I went down the normal path. So, yay for me.
Absolutely.
Yay.
How much worse was your hair when you first wrote the Bald Truth book? Was it about the same as it is now, or did you have more hair?
It's interesting because it was actually thinner on the sides and it was a little thinner on top when I started, but my hairline had not receded as much. So within a few months, the sides filled out. It was amazing, actually. And then the crown took about a year. But the hairline kind of, it got stronger where the terminal hairs were, but what was already miniaturizing didn't reverse. And I was kind of just left with, uneven, effed up high hairline. But it was solid. Now it's more miniaturized for sure. But it did not really, like, when I look at Tom Gilbanks, that guy has full restoration.
Yeah.
How old was he?
He was younger
when
than
he
me.
started the treatment?
I think he started at 23, or 22 or 23.
Yeah.
I had to wait
Yeah,
till
these
I had to
guys
wait till
are-
I was like 27, I think. I don't know, something like that. 28, maybe 29. Whenever I got my hands on it. So, and I started at 21. So, and I was just putting compounded minoxidil on my head and doing it, and then I learned about these, herbal supplements that were being used for prostate enlargement. And I mean, that's why I wrote everything, man. I learned the hard way, but I did see results before finasteride, which is interesting.
From the herbal supplements, you saw some results?
From everything, I mean, I don't know how much the the compounded minoxidil helped. Because it was kind of like I'd wake up in the morning and there was this powder on my head, the way that it would dry out. But then Rogaine was approved in 88. And that was by prescription, if you remember. And then I was doing the I was doing the Leuenberg formula. And I was getting like 10% minoxidil from the Dominican Republic.
Did you ever do Helsinki formula?
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first things. I was all into it. Anytime I see one of those head massagers being sold, it gives me anxiety. I get a visceral reaction.
There's some guy on Reddit today talking about head massages. If you do it the right way, is as effective as any dose of minoxidil. True story.
Oh yeah, dude. There's this whole channel that talks about head massages, and
oh yeah,
it's sad because it's 2025, almost 2026, and the bullshit still dominates this field.
More so than ever.
Yeah,
because the old
old
bullshit
stuff.
still there, and there's more bullshit on top of it.
Copper peptides have made a complete resurgence. Every bodybuilder's talking about them. Every influencer's talking about them. It's hilarious, actually.
My first repair surgery in 2002, March 18th, 2002. I was offered a bottle of copper peptide to promote healing of my hair transplant. From Hassan and Wong, that was one of the last things that they were pushing on their patients, and I was like, we got to stop this. It's no good, and it was expensive.
I think it was called. It started with a P at the time. What was it? Oh God, I know. Picard had his own product. Prosite. Yeah. They advertised on the Bald Truth for a while. I allowed them. Because every doctor was using it. I knew Picard, and they wanted to advertise on the radio show. So I think it was for about 2 years. And at the time, I mean, this was on the radio. they were paying big money along with the
Yeah.
pharmaceutical companies to be a part of it.
And they're making big money.
They were making huge money. But
It was $100 a bottle in 2002 money.
Let's put it this way. Back in the day, I was basically, I'm not going to say how much I was charging, but whatever the time was worth for an hour, that's what I would be able to charge for a minute. So,
Wow.
and these guys were able to not only afford it, but afford it across the country. And of course, I gave them a break because they were doing it nationally. But
Volume discount.
let me tell you, that was a great gig, man. If I try to explain this to people who are actually in radio, that I own my show and I was able to sell my own time, they still don't understand it. It was like black magic to them.
Yeah.
They're sitting there getting
What's
paid by
your
the radio
beef with
station. I
copper
work on
peptides?
Sunday. I drive up my car. They didn't even know how the hell I did anything. I was just quiet. I would just go to the station, mind my own business. You know, Howard Stern was making fun of me, said I had an infomercial. Great, thanks. Thanks for talking about me for 15 minutes. We sold a couple of 100,000 books.
Yeah.
You
Thanks
know?
for
What's the
mentioning.
beef with copper peptides? Why do you not like copper peptides?
It's not that I don't like them. They just don't work for hair loss.
Yeah.
What am I going to tell you?
What about injecting it?
I've never tried it.
I think they're finding that injectable copper peptides reverse some form of aging, but who knows?
Look, I think peptides are very interesting. I have a lot of tendon issues. I have tendinopathy, like basically all over my body. So, like one day I'll do like a leg workout. It's like, oh, great, my Achilles tendon's out, or my lat hurts, or I mean, it's crazy. So I'm considering peptides to try to recover faster and avoid these injuries.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe I'll go down to Austin to Ways to Well and see if they can hook me up. But I'm also concerned that if you are able to heal more rapidly, can this exacerbate potentially any, cancer cells that are growing in your body already and shit like that?
What was Matthew McConaughey promoting?
He was promoting not Kevis. He was promoting
Nutra something or
it was they had an office in like Cedar Sinai, in the building of Cedar Sinai. They made it like it was a medical thing. Regenics.
yeah, Regenics. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, interesting about
That's
Regenics here in Los
hospital?
Angeles, they would advertise around my program here in Los Angeles. I wouldn't accept them. I wouldn't take their money to advertise, but they would advertise like 2 minutes before the show and 2 minutes after the show. Let me tell you, radio stations are just the radio sales. These people are the lowest of the low. They're as bad, if not worse, than the hair loss industry.
That's saying a lot.
I can tell you, if you hear an advertisement on the radio for anything in general, you have to look at it with a jaundiced eye.
That's true.
How do you think he grew his hair back, Spence? Matthew McConaughey. What do you think he took, or what?
Joe thinks he's wearing a
did-
piece.
I think it's a
I did a video on this several years back, and I'll just summarize it real quick. Where I had a picture of him, the famous picture of him in the mugshot, where he's got a really high Temple Norwood 3 going on, and then afterwards, where he's on some sort of red carpet event, hair looks on point, looking sharp, and then several years later, he's in the recovery room with his girlfriend, now wife, after the birth of their first child. And it's a very candid photo. It's a black and white photo. It's a beautiful photo, actually. But his hair is nothing like you see it on the red carpet, and it looked just like it did in that mugshot, more or less. Maybe a little thicker, maybe he's taking medication. And then again afterwards, and all these had timestamps from different times in his career, the hair was back. There's only one reason why that won't happen, and that's a partial hairpiece.
I once saw him in L.A. I think he used to have a place in Malibu. And I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. He was clocking me. And I'm pretty sure he was clocking me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible he recognized me.
Yeah.
Now I always no-sell celebrities. Like if I see a celebrity in like a restaurant, whatever it is, I don't even look at them. I don't want to give them the time of day. I don't know what that is about me. You know?
You don't want to look like a fanboy. That's why.
Well, I also don't want to make these people feel uncomfortable. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was literally, first of all, I've seen Joe Rogan so many times. I would say at least 10 times. He lived very close to me, to my neighborhood. I think he was in Bell Canyon, which is a gated community, and I would see him in like the Commons of Calabasas, or I would see him at the airport. I'd be behind him at the airport at Burbank. I would see him at his place Chick's, which was a chicken place. You had to pay cash. It's a great place in Woodland Hills. The last time I saw him was I was with Common Law, and we were at this Brazilian restaurant, Fogo de Chão, in Beverly Hills. And I was sitting literally catty corner. Maybe he was 15 feet away from his table. He looked really intense. He had a glass of wine. He's talking to, like, I think a comedian, saying, like, what a great career he's going to have. And I knew if I went over to say hello, it's going to be like, I just ruined his day. Then I'm sitting right next to him. What am I going to do? Be like, yeah, hey, what's up? You know, for the rest of dinner? That's
well, he
just the
also
way I
is
am.
following you, or is still following you on Instagram, right?
He follows me.
Yeah.
But
We used to be Facebook friends.
Yeah, I don't know if, it's interesting. I saw him. He did check out Common Law. I'll tell you that. That I saw, as everyone actually does when she walks into a room. But I don't think he definitely didn't recognize me, you know. But I didn't have Instagram back then, and you know, maybe when he had seen me, and I know that he used to listen to me on the radio. But anyway, I don't like that feeling. I have to tell you though, scar and all, that guy looks better in person than he looks on camera. This dude.
You know,
he's super handsome, you know, and he looks so fucking fit.
Yeah, he's very fit. I saw some sort of I think it was an Instagram reel where he was out doing, maybe someone was talking about him for some reason. It wasn't about his hair, but there were multiple angles. I was thinking about doing some sort of reel of my own on it, showing his donor scar, and it looked. I decided not to do it because it actually looked pretty bad, and it was recent. So there's images of him online where it looks really good, like nicely camouflaged, or like he's done something to it. But this didn't look good at all. It was from the right side. It wasn't straight onto the back. It was just from one side. He has some stretch back on one side of it. I don't know if it's both. But I mean, it's still.
Well, I have to say when I saw it in person a couple of times, it's significant. You know, I can understand why he's kicking himself. You know, and here's the problem. That guy, if he would have, and he told me once when we had a conversation, not in person, but typing through MySpace. I think I told you that story. I actually reached out to him at one point, and we were talking, and he asked me some questions. And, but he said he heard me on the radio. If he would have heard me before he decided to have a transplant, I would have been like, dude, you're not a candidate. He was a young man with retrograde already. I mean, it was significant.
Yeah.
Like, unless you were on finasteride, and I know, and again, if you're listening to this, you know, I could be wrong. This is just what I remember. I think he told me through MySpace that he was using Dr. Lee's stuff for a while.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I don't know if he ever tried oral finasteride. But he was a goner, and he should never have had surgery. It's not his fault. I mean, everyone's vulnerable in that state. He was also a celebrity, and he wanted to keep his hair. But the doctor that did it, and I kind of think I might know who it is, should have just been, listen, brother, if you're concerned about your hair, get a small piece or something for camera, and that's it. Especially the way they wore it. He wore it like a Caesar. No one would have known.
Yeah. That's a style.
Do you think he could have grown his hair back if he started treatment at the time when he went in to get a hair transplant, or by that time, do you think it was too aggressive and it was too far gone?
No, I don't know. It was aggressive, but I've seen some pretty significant comebacks just from finasteride. I've seen guys with significant retrograde, and all the sides grow back, and the donor gets stronger. They may go from a Norwood 5-ish to a Norwood 4-ish, but with strong temporal points. I mean, it could have really enhanced his transplant. Here's the good news about his transplant. At least, unless he had something done, it doesn't look like he had any pitting or cobblestoning, so his head looks completely smooth. You know? But I probably would have said, listen, if you can get away with shaving your head because he's so built and just had such a perfect face for it, I would have said just shave your head. Or if you're concerned about television or whatever, just wear a small piece when you're on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
I mean, instead of the head paint and the transplant, which is probably more of a pain to paint his head than to wear something, he could have done that. And then he could have just shaved it when he wanted, no scars, and he wouldn't have regretted it. But who's going to tell him that? You think these doctors are going to tell him that? They want to get Joe. Not. They want to get Joe Rogan in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Theo Vaughn talks about his hair transplants. I know the doctor, who's actually a very nice guy. But Theo's got so much hair. I don't know he doesn't show his hairline, so I don't know if there was really that much of an improvement or if it was just kind of like an OCD thing and he really felt he wanted it. But he might not have been a candidate. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I happen to like the doctor who did it. So, and I think he seems really ethical. So maybe there was some sort of some reasoning behind it, but he probably didn't need surgery yet.
Yeah.
Especially the way that he wears his hair. It's so thick. What's going on with Sylvester Stallone?
What's not going on
his hair always it always struck me as a little odd in the front for some reason, his hair.
Well,
and I heard he had like a Urey flap.
He may have had a Fleming Mayer flap. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there was a guy by the name of Abrams, who's probably passed away by now, maybe still alive, but he's really old. It's a rumor. Abrams didn't tell me directly, but that this guy Abrams was working both on him and his brother to correct some things. And, I mean, he had some significant work done. In general, he looks pretty good. I mean, yes, the hairline is placed very oddly, but he still looks good. He's Sylvester Stallone. He's like 80.
That's the thing about with him. Yeah, a couple months ago, I was watching King of Tulsa, that show that he's been on. Good show. And I can't stop looking at his hair. But at the same time, it's almost like the Trump effect. It's like, it doesn't look right, but it's him. It's a part of his appearance now, that if it wasn't like this, he would, like, if he went to someone to have his hairline placed in the proper location and a strong effort made to repair everything's been done and give him a natural appearance, he would look ridiculous.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This is his look. It works for him. And to do anything else would be bizarre. Yeah, he would look weird.
It is, like they created something that's a little simian, but he looks good. That's the thing. It's kind of like all these kids that have these unnatural hair transplants. Some of them look okay. Most of them don't. But on him, he's had work done, but he still looks good. So God bless him. He lucked out in that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is almost 80. Or is he 80?
Whatever, even if he was 60. Even if he was 60 and being Sylvester Stallone with the body that he has and the face that he has, even with whatever work he had done, I mean, the guy is gangster, man.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Absolute legend.
He's a legend.
All right, brother, listen, we're going to take another call, Riz.
Thanks, guys. Hey, right. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Spence. And good job with the hair.
Thank you,
I was
brother.
just busting your balls. I'm jealous, and thank you for doing what you're doing, man. Seriously.
I appreciate you too, brother.
Thank you.
Take care.
Be good.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
So now I know his handle on Instagram because this other guy said you would off yourself if you look like Joe. No, if you look like me or Joe. Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Joe looks amazing.
Thank you.
Did you have one of the best hair transplants, even though you had to go through so much? One of the best long-term hair transplants that exists. And end of subject. No one fully understands that. All these young kids who are 25, they've already had transplants. What about this kid that he's an influencer, 22 years old or whatever he was, that went to another influencer hair transplant doctor to have his hairline shored up? And I would say that it looks pretty good at this point. I don't know if you've seen it. The only issue that I have is in this particular influencer doctor's video, he uses what I consider to be one of the oldest tricks in the book, which is the plastic headband for the hairline images. You know, they put the plastic headband back and they push the hair down really tight.
Yeah.
That's one of the oldest tricks in the hair transplant, image books. Because as soon as you let that hairband up, that's when you start to see through the hairline possibly.
Yeah, that's when the real density or the lack thereof is apparent.
Yeah.
As well as misangulation and direction.
100%. It hides everything. And if you ever see images with a plastic, what do they call barrettes or hairbands, whatever they're called, pulling the hair back, that's a red flag. Now, this kid looks pretty good on video. So he grew a lot of hair back. The hairline placement seems very reasonable. And my hope...
Do you know what you're talking about?
He's going to complain that I'm talking about him again. I don't want to say, what this guy said on the air about us and about me and about my experience, or his experience with me, is so ridiculous and is such a lie.
Wait, are you mixing what the patient influencer and then the doctor influencer said at the same time?
No. The patient influencers never say anything. He seems like a really good kid.
Okay, so
I'm being a little. I don't want to say names directly, but
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't think he was the influencer doctor, or did he?
He did.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The influencer doctor just did a video on it.
Okay. I don't pay attention to that doctor.
This is the kid that had a really bad lidocaine reaction initially, and they had to cancel the surgery, and then he went back to have a surgery. And I think I said on the air that was a sign, brother. That was a sign.
I can't place him.
You're really getting old. Let's see who this is. Anyway.
Okay.
I will say that this kid looks good, and my hope is that medication, he does well on medication. He continues to keep what he has, and he may have gotten away with it. But in my view, maybe he should have waited 2 or 3 years to see if that medication kind of
I know you're talking
things.
About. Never mind.
Retain things, and then maybe surgery would have been an option.
Yeah.
Because he grew a lot of hair back on his own, and he looked reasonable. He looked good. I can understand why he would want the transplant. Being young.
Yeah. But he pulled the trigger too soon. Yeah, for sure.
It's not that he pulled the trigger too fast. I think that the physician should not have transplanted him.
Well, yeah. The trigger, whoever pulled it, pulled too soon.
Yeah. But
he looks good now, regardless.
He looks good, I have to say. He looks. I'm happy for him, and my hope is that he continues to, and and that I'm not doing this in 5 years, and that he doesn't have to contact me. Let's see what this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Spencer, what's up? James from the Bay Area.
Hey, James from the Bay Area. What's going on?
Yeah, I have to comment on that last caller saying if you look like Joe. I don't get that. That's
If you look like
You
Joe,
give me
you
a
would
break.
off yourself. I mean, what is that?
I think 80% of the people out there that look like Joe would be happy. So give me a break.
Dude,
Only
Joe,
80?
Joe, and you know what? You know what's funny about Joe? And I'm not just saying this because because I love Joe. His hair actually looks better in person. It looks good on camera, but it actually
No,
looks better in
Joe,
person.
Joe looks good. Now, Joe, are you? Did I hear earlier you're taking oral minoxidil? Did I say somebody said you hopped on that? Is that? Did I catch that
Spencer
right?
said I did. And I hadn't said anything yet.
Was that a Freudian slip? What are you on it?
Okay. So here's the. I mean, it's no big deal. But
It's not like I slipped about your penis enlargement. This is what we do. We talk about this stuff.
no, but about the reduction you did.
Oh, there we go.
Anyway,
Well, Joe, your face looks a little fuller. I'm assuming you're actually on it.
Oh,
well,
damn.
I did slip off of my my keto diet 2 weeks ago. But
He's joking. He's joking.
I'm back on a couple days ago.
No,
as
it's
of
working
2
for you,
weeks
man.
ago,
You don't need a fat transfer now. It's perfect.
Doing 1.25 of oral minoxidil daily. I have a 2.5 tablet. I got a supply from Dr. Wong because I was in his clinic a couple of weeks. Yeah. With a friend of mine that was having surgery, a local friend of mine that's having surgery with Dr. Wong. And I sat down with Dr. Wong for probably the last time as far as wanting to talk to him about oral minoxidil, because it's been on my mind and we've talked about it. And he's offered to write me a script before and talked about it again. And he looked at me and he goes, "Should I write it or not?" And I was like, "Okay, go ahead and write it." And it sat in my cupboard for a few days, and I decided to start titrating into it at 1.25. And so far so good.
I'm sitting on a 6-month supply of generic because I know all three of us are name brand advocates, but you're not.
Course.
You're on generic. I'm assuming, right? You cannot get Lanatin.
Well, no. That was the big surprise. Okay, so
you can get in Canada.
So I didn't realize this. Like during my research, when people are asking me about generic or oral minoxidil and generic and all this. Yeah, in the States you can't get Lanatin branded oral minoxidil.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons why I was kind of hesitant, because it's like I'm not like, I just don't feel good about taking a generic. I mean, that was part of my thought process.
I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat. I'm looking at generic. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
And I did take the 2.5 like you and cut it, the generic, and I got a massive headache and dry mouth like the first night. Right?
Oh wow.
And I said, fuck it, I'm not gonna continue this. Maybe I just don't react to it. So did you notice? So what brand of generic are you on? Is it Accord or is it Par or what is it?
Well, I was at the pharmacy and it hit me to ask the pharmacy. I'm walking with my supply and I looked at the bottle because I started thinking, well, who's making it? It just hit me to find out who's behind it, because I'm thinking, well, if this works, I need to make sure I document who made it so I can stick with it. And there was nothing on it. It was just a bottle with the prescription, sticker that goes around it. There was no indication of who made the actual supply. So I went back to the desk and I was like, "Sorry, can you tell me who the manufacturer of this is?" And I hear from in the background, who is it? Pfizer?
It's Pfizer, yeah.
Is that,
I think it's is it Glaxo?
And I was
Pfizer.
And I was like,
I'm pretty sure it's Pfizer.
I said, "You mean this is actual Lanatin?" Yeah, it's Lanatin. I was like, Can I see this?" And they showed it to me. I was like, "That's so weird." And then I went online just to double check that I'm not getting some sort of, counterfeit or something. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And sure enough, it's available in Canada as Lanatin, name brand, original formula. It's
at a 2.5 pill opposed to 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I felt
here in the States, it's a 10
really,
milligram pill if you want Lanatin.
Yeah, Well, a 10 milligram pill if you want oral minoxidil. Yeah. But I felt very fortunate.
No, if you want oral Lonitin, you want name brand oral minoxidil.
Yes.
It's a 10 milligram pill, which you cannot cut down to 1.25. You just can't.
No. But I felt very fortunate to find out that Lonitin was still available to me in any dosage. And that was kind of like I'd gotten the script, but that was the one that was the thing that pushed me over the edge of like, okay, I'm actually going to do this. Because I was still
why didn't they leave it in the original? Why didn't they leave it in the original packaging?
That's probably how they get it. They probably get it in bulk, and it saves money not to put it in specific packaging.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Lonitin is listed in the Canadian Drug Registry with strengths of 2.5 and 10 milligrams. There's a recent shortage of the 2.5 milligram strength, but it was marked as resolved as of March 2025. You cannot get it in the United States. But here's the thing.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to get.
Thanks for researching that.
But it's pretty easy to get drugs from a Canadian pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I got my Avodart from Canadian Pharmacy when I talked to you guys a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So reason for my call, and thanks for the transparency, Spencer. Hair's looking good. Looking forward to hearing what vasodilator you're going to finally. You're going to finally tell us what you're thinking about. But
once I hit 1 million followers, there's going to be some real transparency, brother.
Yeah, spread the word.
Time. I'm surprised you're not at 1 million now. It's been too long. But quick question: I got my Trico test back. What do you guys think about this company called Fagron? Fagron?
They
out of Spain.
No, they're out of the U.S. Right?
I don't, Joe. I don't know. Maybe you can look them up real quick. I just got the test back. It took about a month. Buccal swab test inside the cheek, and to my, not surprisingly, it said I'm a great responder for 1 milligram of oral minoxidil, which I've been on like Spencer for 30 years, and it said I'm not a responder to dutasteride, which was kind of shocking, or any form of minoxidil. Because of the salt A1 or whatever the fuck that's called.
But that doesn't make sense.
Really curious as to why they said
that enzyme.
So my question is, with your experience,
can you hear me?
People
I don't mean to cut you off. That salt 1 enzyme really doesn't make a difference if it's being metabolized through your liver.
Yeah. So that's my question, Spencer. What? If I have low salt A1 in my follicle, what and they're saying oral would not work because I'm low in the liver. I mean, what? No,
that doesn't make sense.
Is that a possibility as well?
Not that I'm aware of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know this website has products on it, and I'm just wondering if it's a money grab, right? And they even recommended spirulactone, which is for women. At like 1 milligram.
I believe that all of these tests essentially are, to some degree, a money grab. I have been approached when I was doing the Global Hair Loss Summit. There were companies who wanted to, obviously, have kind of virtual, brand booths and kind of show off their products at the summit. A lot of these companies that approached me, I was considering working with one, but the reality is, I don't think any of this is really that accurate. That's just the way that I feel about it.
I was asking where they're located because I had the Trico test with this company a few years ago, and I was asking about Spain because when I was sending off my my sample, it was to a lab in Spain. Postpaid, like they paid for everything. And
you'll recognize the company if you pull it up. You recognize the logo. Do you recognize it? It's pretty.
No, it's a well-designed website. I already looked at it, so I already know who they are. And so it's the same company that I went through, And they told me
Right.
that finasteride was not going to work for me, and I should switch to dutasteride. I don't remember what it said about minoxidil. But it said I should try dutasteride. That would be better. When 10 years prior, at least, I'd already done exactly that. Finasteride did work for me. Saw results in less than a year. And dutasteride did nothing above and beyond finasteride in the positive side, but it did have a negative side effect, which was bloating, I think. Not entirely sure on that one.
Yeah, no, dutasteride. I had a side effect. I quit Propecia and went 2 years on Avodart, and I just noticed some side effects, sexual side effects. So I went, and then I went off for 5 years without anything. And it took a while for the dutasteride to get out of my system. We all know why that is. But went back on Propecia back in maybe 5 years after I quit both Avodart and Propecia.
Right.
But this test, you would not put a lot of trust in it.
I wish I could.
I think they're very. This is imperfect testing. I've heard too many people, just like with Joe, the same experience Joe had. The fact that you told me that they're saying it's claiming that you shouldn't be taking low dose oral minoxidil based on your lack of enzymes in your scalp for conversion from a prodrug into a drug makes no sense. So I kind of would look at it with a jaundiced eye, and I do think that a lot of this stuff, while there may be some basic science behind it, maybe there's some degree of, I don't know, maybe it can tell you some things about your particular situation genetically. I don't think it's of any real benefit to anyone at this point. I could be wrong.
Well, here's what worried me. Because I'm like Joe, very hesitant on the oral. If I'm going to do oral minoxidil, it's going to be name brand, not what I have sitting in the cupboard. But who the hell wants to go through a dread shed and have the medication not work, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's like
I get
worst
that.
case scenario, right?
I get that. All these tests are based on really limited evidence. We know that. I would say the predictive power of any of these tests are absolutely overhyped. I just do. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I don't know everything. Obviously, I'm still learning a lot every day. But sadly, I still think it's going to take trial and error to see what works for you and what doesn't. Now, I do think, at least as far as understanding whether or not topical might work for you, I think they've basically gotten that down. They can kind of tell if you're going to be a good responder to topical minoxidil. But as far as all the other medications, like what's going to be best for you, dutasteride or finasteride, what you just told me about the oral minoxidil situation.
No, I did the topical minoxidil. I did the topical minoxidil in my 20s. It didn't do shit.
Yeah.
But have you come across people that don't have this enzyme in their liver and convert minoxidil to its active form and still get the shed? Because if you shed, that's an indication that it's actually working, correct? If you don't have the enzyme, you won't shed?
Well, that would make sense, yeah, because you're not converting it into the drug that's needed to affect your hair growth cycle. So I don't see why you would shed if it wasn't effective.
Correct, right.
You're not disrupting your hair growth cycle.
You had a caller that said he was, I think your first caller today said he was on oral minoxidil and he did not get a shed. So I would assume he would be a non-responder, right?
We don't know. I've known guys who've responded well who didn't go through a shed.
I didn't have a shed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Tom Gilbanks had a shed from it either.
Who was this? Were you talking about a doctor earlier named Tony, or is he an influencer?
No, Tony Rooston in Brazil.
Yeah.
Is he a transplant doctor?
Yeah.
Yes. Good one too.
And I got late to the program. What were you guys saying about him?
No, he just reached out to me when all these doctors were saying that I should have a hair transplant when I showed my bald spot. And he said, look, just take...
Oh, he was the one that recommended oral minoxidil for you. Okay.
Yeah, he said, okay. There's a good chance you can grow all your hair back with oral minoxidil. Based on his experience.
Yeah, my crown is probably a quarter of yours. It's my frontal third that is creeping back, right? So I've always had a thin hairline. I just the crown's been hanging in there, but now that I'm getting closer to 60, it's starting to show a little bit through. It's hair still there like yours, right? So I think oral minoxidil would definitely recover for both of us in a sense, but the
I'm letting you and Joe be the guinea pigs,
Well, so you're still not going to expose this vasodilator that you're considering?
No, not unless I decide to take it. It'll be all over Reddit. I know how this works.
Are you more prone to go on that over oral minoxidil?
Right now I am, but I won't make any real gains. It may just, if it works, it may just really kind of halt things, keep them where they are. It may reverse some of the retrograde to some degree, but it will do nothing compared to low dose oral minoxidil.
Is it an FDA approved drug or no?
He's really trying to get this out of me. Yes,
he really is.
It is. Of course, it's an FDA approved drug.
I'm not gonna press you. I just want to know if it's an FDA approved drug. Could be anything.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
I see.
Look, you seem like you're someone who's smart enough to deduce, what these are. You can look. Yeah. You could figure it out yourself.
And I know that.
Yeah.
So Joe, 1.25 for what? 2 weeks now on name brand Lonitin.
Yeah. Well, for 2 weeks.
Okay, so I know you got to. I know you're very sensitive to any changes, anything at all.
Well, you told him he's bloated. He's
you already told me I'm a fat fuck. So no changes. The good thing is
I think one of the better side effects is you retain a little bit more in you can retain water in your face, which actually could make you look younger. Actually,
could be, yeah. But as it stands, there's no measurable impact that I can see. My plan is to continue as is for a month, and I went ahead and I skipped my, I have my outline of what I usually recommend to people that are really concerned about side effects. I jumped ahead to the daily scenario. I didn't bother with taking 1.25 once a week every week for a month, because it's such a low dose to begin with. And I'm kind of a risk taker anyway. So, do as I say, not as I do. And it's fine so far. It really is. In 1 month or in 2 weeks from now, I will up my dose to the 2.5 and see how that works out. And I'll probably stick with that for a while, longer than a month. We'll see.
Yeah. So
I'll monitor that for several months. And who knows? Like I may wind up moving up to 5 milligrams. I don't know. And the reason why, one of the reasons why I'm interested in this is, aside from getting more hair, thicker hair, is my father was taking it for many years, for a few decades, actually. And I didn't realize that. It was before I was in this crazy business called hair. And it was only
they used to call him Unibrow Charlie.
Unibrow Charlie, yeah. It was only after he had passed away, and I was talking to my mom about, just different things, and she mentioned his blood pressure medication. I forgot the context of it, or maybe I'd asked her, knowing that it was a blood pressure medication. I think that's what it was. Knowing he had been taking blood pressure medication through his 40s, 50s, and 60s, I asked her what was it that he was taking, and she told me it was Lonitin. And it was just like a light bulb went off. And it's like all these images of my father from my life, it's like now it makes sense. Everything makes sense about my dad's hair. He was a strong Norwood 4 throughout. You know, old photos when he was still like his military photos from when he was still a lieutenant colonel. You know, full dress with the medals. Afterwards, 40s, 50s, into his 60s, he had the same hair. His doctor switched him at one point. I don't remember exactly when it was. His hair loss progressed like a freight train to like full-on Norwood 7. And that's where it remained. And it's because it was changed to something else. I don't know what it was. My mom didn't remember what it was.
Right, they stopped using it probably. Was he on the 40 Was he on the 40 milligram?
It was a healthy dose. I don't remember what it was, but if it's for blood pressure, it's 30, 40, 50,
sure.
Whatever, because it was so much easier to dose it like that.
Imagine if he was on Propecia, he probably would have just stayed at a Norwood 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, well he could have gone back to it because it was I mean if when he first started losing for sure. But that was the initial push I needed to at least start thinking about it. And this was early on when Dr. Cooley first started telling me about his observations with oral minoxidil 12 years ago, roughly, more or less. And so that's why I started considering this years ago, is because of what I learned about my father, and then from Dr. Cooley years ago, and then of course 5 years ago with Dr. Vanyo, what's his name, in Spain, doing his studies and being very vocal about it. With what's his name in Australia at the Sinclair Clinic, Bevan Boy-Rule, Dr. Boy-Rule, who was presenting at the Global Hair Loss Summit at least one year that we had that. Very promising results from oral minoxidil in various dosages. And in fact, Sergio Vanyo in Spain, he's a big proponent of it. Bevan Boy-Rule in Australia, huge proponent of it. That works at the Sinclair Clinic, which is a famous clinic in Australia. That
by the way, while it's on my mind, I want to wish Adrian a happy birthday.
Speaking of oral minoxidil, Adrian, happy birthday!
I think today is his birthday.
He's been seeing Dr. Boy-Rule in Australia for he started oral minoxidil.
So if you're listening, Adrian, happy and healthy. I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope maybe you're in Thailand or wherever you go. Philippines,
wherever. Yeah. Having fun, baby.
Happy birthday, brother.
So your stack now, Joe, is your stack now is 1 milligram Propecia and 1.25 oral minoxidil daily.
1.25 of both.
Okay.
Because I get ProScar and I cut it in quarters.
Yeah. That's a good stack.
Yeah, and I take them both at night.
Now, did you do any baseline tests, echocardiogram, any of that before you started oral minoxidil? Did you?
No.
Okay.
No. Now, my friend who had surgery recently with Dr. Wong, he also got a script for it, and he was concerned with the fluid buildup, the cardiac effusion. And I told him, I said, like, he came over and he was walking around, and I stopped. And I said, dude, do you hear that sound? He's like, what are you talking about? He goes, it sounds like someone's carrying an aquarium and the water's sloshing around. I think you're getting cardiac effusion. Fucked him up. I can hear the fluid moving around when you're talking. Anyway. That's a little hair humor.
I'm not even listening.
I know, obviously.
I'm involved. I'm texting people. People are asking me all kinds of questions, like, "What's up with Joe's hair and face now?" First of all, I think your face looks. I'm going to be honest with you. I think your face looks great. I don't think it looks any fuller, so I wouldn't even worry about it. But if it did, that wouldn't be so terrible.
If it is, then I'm fine with it. Because if this is a fuller looking face, then I have no complaints.
You do
but
look
anyway,
very rosy cheeked today, by the way.
My lighting is different, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Can't get that straightened out today. But anyway, yeah.
Well,
So that's
it looks
my
good.
minoxidil background and history, and everything's led me up to now being 2 weeks into my my new hair stack that includes oral minoxidil. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's big news. That's big news in the industry for sure.
Not really.
It'll be.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'm following. I'm following it closely.
It'll be interesting to see. Somebody that's not going to bullshit us. How it works, how it affects you. If it makes a difference, you're on name brand, so that that kind of is a process of elimination, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it is. And I'm so thankful that I have the name brand, because one of my biggest problems with I've talked about this, ever since 2006, when I started to notice the problem with generics. I've had a huge fear. Spencer's talked about this too. It's like, for the love of God, do not stop making name brand Proscar or Propecia, because we'll buy up all the supply it's left so that we have it for the next 30 years.
No, I'm with you. I'm just a little suspect on why they're repackaging it into a bottle that doesn't have anything on it. That's not that I'm saying that you don't have the name brand Lonitin at 2.5. I would ask the pharmacy if they would just keep it in the original packaging for you.
Well, that's a good point, and I'll keep that in mind. The thing is, being in Canada, there's no reason. They knew exactly what I was asking, and unless they're purposely trying to pull a fast one on me, it doesn't. I mean, if it's available, it doesn't make any sense.
No,
and it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that, but if you have the option to get however many pills in the original packaging, I would suggest asking them if they can just keep for you just so you can come back and tell us you actually have the name brand stuff, not just being told.
This guy's triggering my OCD. I'm gonna go to the damn pharmacy when we're done with the show.
Why don't you take a look at the pill and compare it to another pill online and see if it has the same markings.
Well, you can actually look that up, Joe. You can actually look up what actual 2.5 Lonitin
Joe
looks
just
like
left the
and
studio.
Just kind of compare, but yeah.
Jesus.
So, Joe, if they came out, or Spence, if they came out with
live on the show,
if they came out with this slow release oral minoxidil, would you switch even though it's more milligrams per day?
Would I switch if I started to take? Are you asking Joe? Or are you asking me?
I'm not asking both of you. If they came out with this, I can't remember. It starts with a V. But,
yeah, they're coming out with it. It's gonna. I can guarantee you, it's gonna. I'm almost can guarantee it's going to be approved. Here's the reality, though. It's going to get a lot of pushback from the telehealth companies, and there's going to be a lot of, I would say, misdirection. People are going to start doing titrating protocols. I already know one company that's considering, promoting that, pretty quickly before this other drug's approved. Would I switch to it? Would I use it? Here's how I feel about it. It's great that it's being FDA approved. It's great that essentially the main drug is going to be oral minoxidil, but will the slow release aspect of it give it some unique challenges as far as the way that my body metabolizes it? It's just not. I'm not a fan of something that's brand new. I like other people taking it for a while first. Now, with that said, I did start taking finasteride essentially before most people did, but it had already been in the market since '92.
Yeah,
man. Woo! I feel better. Okay. So the bottle actually it actually says Lonitin on the bottle that they printed out, and that's what triggered me to go back and ask, because I remember it now. I looked at it and I was like, Lonitin, that doesn't make any sense. So that's why I went back to double check, and they confirmed it. So I looked at my pill, and typed it in online. It says the original brand name Lonitin 2.5 mg tablet is a white, round, scored tablet with specific imprints. The generic versions of oral minoxidil share the same characteristics but have different imprints. And that's when my heart started to sink. I was like, oh, shit. Original brand name Lonitin can be identified by the following markings. One side is embossed with a U and a 121 on either side of the score line. The other side is embossed with a 2.5, and that's exactly what my pill has. So I'm good. I'm glad you freaked me out a little bit, because now I'm even more confident in what I'm taking.
No.
So that's,
Let me tell you, those cartels could really duplicate those pills perfectly. By the way, there's a whole Lonitin cartel.
I think your astute listeners are going to be watching your progress, and the fact that you're on name brand. We hope you're on name brand. It's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I got taking 1.25 of generic, and I got a massive headache and dry mouth as a side effect.
Yeah.
Why don't you try a different generic and see what happens?
Exactly. Yeah.
If I'm going to do anything, it's just going to be name brand. It's either all or nothing, right? I mean, it's like
it's interesting
like
though. I mean, while you can get drugs from Canada, there's a whole. I'm not exactly sure how the process works, because it's not really supposed to be possible. But you told me that you were able to get your Avodart through a Canadian pharmacy.
Yeah, the company It's called Can Ship Meds, like Canada Ship Meds, right? Can Ship Meds. Look it up. It's a pretty legit company. I did a real deep dive, using both AI platforms to kind of scrub this company, and it seems pretty legit. I mean, it saved me a lot of money on the Avodart. Even
Trusted by Americans since 2006, family owned and operated, brick and mortar Canadian.
Is it in Surrey, BC?
No, Spencer. I spent 5 hours looking this company up. I mean, they're legit. But you like you said, you never know. It shouldn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be possible.
It shouldn't be possible, but there are loopholes and workarounds.
I did have to go through a process to give them my prescription. They denied me for a couple of days until the doctor said, "Yeah, I want them on name brand." Right? So they just didn't take the money. I mean, I paid for it before I even got approved, and they said, we're not shipping anything until we talk to your doctor.
Well, here's the thing: there is if a physician can make the argument that this patient needs to be on name brand only for whatever reason, then there's a loophole where it can get through customs. So.
Yeah, well, that's what my doctor did. He said this guy.
In other words,
does not
no one or anything. it's all fake. Everything's a fake.
Everything's a con. Everything's a workaround. Everything's a hustle.
Listeners and education, you can always let people know if their doctor's willing to prescribe name brand. Like Spencer said, you have to get a doctor to say that this is a name brand patient only. They will do it.
Yeah.
And that company is legit, and they're not. It's not like the medication is so cheap where it's kind of suspect. It's definitely it's legit. Can Ship Meds. It's easy to remember. It's out of Canada, and it's close to Washington State where I used to live. Right, so I think they're right close to. I don't know. I can't remember.
They're in Vancouver.
They're right there by the border. Vancouver, yeah.
They're in Vancouver.
Not too far from Seattle,
Yeah, they're actually about 10 minutes from my home. 15 now.
It's a beautiful area. Yeah, that's a beautiful area.
I don't know. I see a business opportunity here, Joe.
I'm telling you, I was already thinking that.
Yeah.
Only name brands can go.
We can,
Joe, you can make a fortune on Avodart.
We can start a telehealth company where you could ship everything in Canada and get the real deal. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. But imagine if there was a way to do that. These are the only FDA.
No, I'm telling you.
These are the only FDA
they're
tested.
Charging $3,000 to $4,000 for 90-day supply of Avodart.
No, it's insane.
Name brand dutasteride.
But what's interesting is no one understands that generic equivalents of these medications are not clinically tested. They're not clinically tested, first of all, but they are not, there's no real FDA approval. None of these are FDA approved. Now, they're approved to be sold as a bioequivalent, as a generic, but they don't go through any clinical trials.
So Scion TC-TL8ST in the chat room is saying that the name brand and generics are the same. There's no difference because of bioequivalency, active ingredients, and sorry to break it to you, my friend, but that's incorrect. I used to think the same thing.
Absolutely not true. Not true.
It
Not
makes
even
sense
close.
to think the same thing because that's what they want you to think. That's what the industry wants you to think. It is proven to be incorrect. One thing that comes to mind is talking about the 60 Minutes episode where they're looking at hospitals that were dishing out statins.
That's a great reference.
Where their patients were having a lot of problems, and it was investigated and found out to be because the hospital was taking shortcuts with the generics. They weren't using the original name brand. I don't remember all the specifics, but I knew this back before 2010 when I had a patient come in for consultation. He just happened to own a chain of pharmacies in Canada. And we were talking about the differences in generic versus name brand Proscar. And I told him my assumptions. He said, "You're absolutely right." He said, there is an absolute difference between generic and name brand, despite what you've been taught, since you were a kid. And he gave an example of Lipitor. Lipitor originally had, I think, 36 patents when it first came out. Huge cholesterol medication, huge, billions of dollars from generated from this. 36 patents. The generic that came to replace it, or eventually to replace it because of cost differences, they were able to reverse engineer or figure out 13 of those patents, and that was enough to receive quote-unquote bioequivalency and to be approved as a generic version of Lipitor. They're not the same.
Look, there's a book that was written several years ago by Catherine Ebon called Bottle of Lies. And it's really it's really the inside story of this whole generic drug boom and exactly what's transpired in the real world with these generic medications. Can generics be pretty close? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. But there's a pharmaceutical company, a generic pharmaceutical company, I think it's called Ranbury or Roxbury. I forgot where it is, but she talks about it in this book and essentially talks about all the fraud that's going on. I'm talking about with major medications, stuff that people need, life-saving medications in hospitals. Just falsified records, falsified bioequivalency, also FDA. Basically, there was like staged inspections for these overseas manufacturers. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing about FDA approval of these medications is a lot of them are made overseas, where the FDA doesn't have authority in those countries. They only have authority over products that are coming into our country or into North America, into the U.S. And so when they would send inspectors over to wherever, they give notice. Hey, we're going to be there on this date.
FDA inspections overseas were often staged. Plants would clean up data trials and stage conditions ahead of scheduled inspections, leading to approvals based on inaccurate realities. Patients sometimes experienced treatment failures, blah, blah, blah. Whistleblowers faced significant retaliation, but they exposed the truth. A lot of deaths. There were insiders from Dinesh, Thakur. It's Ranbaxy is the name of the company.
Hey, Spencer, listen. I don't trust anybody in this hair loss business, right? I mean, when GlaxoSmith or Pfizer. I don't remember. Was it Glaxo that was the founder of Propecia, right?
No, it was Merck.
Merck, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
I
When
am
Merck
right.
sold to Oregon, when Merck sold their name brand to Oregon, I got very suspect. What?
Well,
you remember what year that
Argonon
was?
is actually an offshoot of Merck.
Yeah, they created that.
They
that
created
company.
that company. The company that wasn't in existence on its own.
I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying that Argonon is a subsidiary of Merck.
Yes.
Yep. 100%.
Originally it was. It may not be now, but it was.
I don't think so because when I looked it up, it said Argonon bought a bunch of their patents, and it could be in my head, right? It's like my Propecia is not working as well. I mean, it could be because I'm from 55 to 58, right? Things have changed, but I was a suspect. Like this shit doesn't seem to be working as well. Did they get rid of their patent? Did they change? And then I looked it up, and
here's the situation. Organon, like I thought, used to be a part of Merck. But in 2021, Merck spun off Organon into a separate independent company. So since the spinoff, Organon is no longer a subsidiary of Merck, but it was.
Yeah. We stand corrected.
And that's recent. So that happened in 2021.
Just when you and I, Spencer, started getting a little retrograde in the back. What's going on there?
Well, sadly, at least I am old. No matter how much I'm fighting it, no matter, I was on a live chat with this kid Tom Gilbanks, who's doing great work, and the kids in the chat were like, they called me a fossil maxer. Now, if you know anything,
is that the kid with the fringe haircut that you talked to? That kid, I think you were. Yeah. I think you guys were. I think you had a program. You got a.
I did a live.
Stitch. I couldn't get to it.
Yeah. So the kids were calling me a fossil maxer or an elder maxer. So there's this whole trend now about looks maxing online, where all these kids are like trying to ascend their appearance. And I guess it was a compliment, but I'm like, I guess I am a fossil for these kids.
Yeah, it's all about mewing. It's all about mewing, right?
There's mewing, and then and then I guess if you are able to look better than somebody else, you're mogging them. So I'm an elder mogger as well. Yeah. What a world we live in.
So
man.
you think?
I gotta say, if these kids just spend some time, like maybe learning how to play piano, or learning some skill set. But Jesus, what a world!
Crazy world.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Hey, always nice to chat. Joe, happy for you getting on name brand Loniton. You're giving me some hope.
In a month when he looks like Homer Simpson, we may not be that thrilled, but
I just need name brand because I took one dose at 125, massive headache. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know why.
You're old.
I don't trust.
I mean,
generic.
come on.
Yeah.
No, I know. Listen, I know.
So,
I
Joe,
could tell. I remember your conversations. I could also hear your voice. You sound like just from your voice, you sound like you take good care of yourself.
Oh no, I've never been in better shape. It's just You're
on TRT?
Getting old sucks.
Are you on TRT?
No, I'm really not. I'm not. My IGF-1s are healthy. My testosterone's. I mean, I'm Sicilian on both sides, so pretty healthy. I got some blue blood running through my veins, but
I'm an Ashkenazi Jew. I should be dead by now.
No, everything's good, man. I mean, 6 foot, 188, probably 18% body fat.
Okay.
But
very nice. I try not to measure anything at this point.
Hair is important.
I just wake up in the morning. If I could see, hear, and move, and if there's still blood flow downstairs, I'm good. I don't want to check anything at this point.
No, I can perform 2-3 times a day still. I mean, life is good in that sense, but still, hair is important.
Of course, hair is important.
Of course. course it is.
I got a beautiful house in the hills, a Ferrari in the garage, and I'm still not happy.
What kind of Ferrari?
That's the way life is.
812 Superfast.
Oh, which one?
Well, they stopped making them in 2020, so it's I don't know. 2020 is not that old, but.
Sorry, which model?
Yeah. 812 Superfast.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a nice car. Actually, I got a McLaren as well, but I think I'm Italian, but I actually like the McLaren better.
Yeah. It's yeah.
But you know what? I would trade both of those cars for a guaranteed hair transplant. Right?
Of course. You know, when you get to a certain point in life, you realize.
Look. Somebody offered Spencer $250 for a hair transplant. If I had a guarantee that I would have no shock loss or permanent damage, I would write the check tomorrow.
I will write that guarantee. Okay? Pink slips, sign them over. I will write that guarantee.
Really?
I'll give you Spencer's phone number, not mine.
Look,
and after about 6 months, I'll be off the show.
It wasn't just $250, by the way. It was $250 just to do it, and it was $10,000 a month just to continue to promote them. But just put out videos, do it. So, and that would have been until they went out of business, which, frankly, a lot of these companies are going to go out of business within a few years. They're going to make a killing, and then they're going to disappear or change their names.
Yeah.
No, but you guys talked about this earlier. You go for the surgery, you don't know how your body's going to react, right? No. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to have shock loss in the donor area. You don't know. See, the problem is, Joe, you talked to this Manny Mantel, this really good surgeon. Where's he out of?
He's out of London, the UK.
Yeah, no. So he had a program with a guy that's my hereditary, my ethnicity. He was an Italian Sicilian guy, and I have not overly curly hair, but I would say wavy curly hair, and really and he's the only doctor that you have interviewed. I think he went to his facility. He's building a new facility somewhere. Sharp guy. But he took in consideration what ethnicity that this guy was that he interviewed, and he was an emotional Italian like myself, right? And he had curly, wavy hair, and I can't. And what really, I was a little disappointed he didn't say whether he did an FUE or an FUT, but I would imagine he had to do an FUT so there wouldn't be transection.
If it was Manny, he's doing an FUE.
If it was Manny, there's no FUT. He doesn't perform it.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you pointing that out, because it's like if this guy got these results, basically had the same hair as me. It's like one of his last interviews with a patient, and it was a really good program actually. And I'm worried about the transection rate with my hair type. I have coarse, like I said, I'm Sicilian on both sides, coarse hair. And FUE to me would be a risk.
Well, that it's very observant of you, and it's nice to hear you say this, because it shows that you've been a good student of ours over the years, and that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. The thing about, so how do you, so curly hair for people who may not be aware, and FUE are a bad match unless the surgeon is really experienced, and this is where you get into the issue of one hat, or there's more ways than one to skin a cat. So when you're dealing with fine straight hair, you can go down to a smaller punch. The angle and direction of the follicle underneath the skin tissue, it's predictable.
Exactly.
With wavy hair. Curly hair, it's less so, but it depends on the wave. How hard is that curl? Is it really tight? Is it loose? Is it like you said, a wave, or is it actually curly? But but you can adjust for that by
It's a wave. It's a wave. It's a wave. It's a wave.
Yeah. So if there's wavy hair,
it's exactly what that patient had. It's exactly what the patient had that Manny
I don't
was
know
interviewing. So
I don't recall seeing that. So I'm just going on generalities here. But here's the thing: when you look at wavy hair, okay, so you ever see like on a lot of Italian people, when their hair is brushed backwards, you see that wave. It's consistent from one hair to the next. Yeah. Right.
Yes, that's
what
I have. Yeah.
Kind of like the Fraser head, you know.
Yeah.
His curls are a bit tighter. But when you have that wave, and you can see that angle and direction of the way that hair is exiting the scalp, that wave continues. If you can see the angle that it's coming in, you can deduce where that curvature is going to be. Now, the other modification that you make to your approach is not just trying to understand how that hair is flowing from outside the scalp into the scalp and then under the epidermis. You're also compensating for any mistakes and variation with a larger punch within reason. And that's how curly hair is properly addressed with FUE. No surgeon worth his salt is going to say, "Oh, I use the same punch for straight hair versus curly hair," unless he's using a big fucking punch for your straight hair and causing problems.
Yeah, but there's no surgeon. There's no surgeon in the United States that I have heard talk about really taking in consideration the ethnicity of someone, right? And really, until he kind of mentioned it, it was pretty. Very impressive doctor,
or you're just talking. You haven't heard anyone just voluntarily talking about this out in the open. Are you talking about one-on-one
voluntarily out in the open?
Oh,
right, right.
Yeah. Well, it's because the ones that I know of that know how to deal with this type of hair, they're not really online much to begin with, and it's such a niche type of subject to discuss in an already niche field. So it's understandable why you wouldn't hear about it.
The confusing part of it is if I were to choose a surgeon in the United States that has this ability to do surgery with my type of hair, because I was considering Nussbaum, right, the guy out of Florida, that's on your website. But very, really uncomfortable with this, I'm using the artist machine, but it's me and it's in the right hands. I do this hybrid approach. I'm very, very turned off by that. And to have
I
artist
actually
machine,
understand that. I actually understand. Yeah. I love Aaron's. He's great.
Oh no,
and we're going to be working actually more. Me and Aaron are going to be working more closely with the organization. So I mean, he's terrific. But I understand how you feel. For 100%, I would think the exact same way.
You also have to understand, though, he's not using the artist for all of his cases or exclusively. He uses a handheld motor for a lot of his patients that have the exact same concerns that you do, and he's also a very good FUT surgeon as well. Which leads me to my next question: have you considered FUT, and if not, why?
Oh no, Joe, I'm an advocate for FUT. I absolutely am. But the only reason I brought up Mattel was the result was somebody that had almost identical hair to me, same ethnicity as me, and what he was able to yield. But I mean, Jesus Christ, an artist machine with my hair, I would imagine the transection rate would be horrific.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do that.
Look, I've listened to you guys for years about wait as long as you can, and the first pass is an FUT. So,
well, especially at your point in life, and if you're willing to wear your hair longer, I mean, and you want to get 100% of that. Yeah, no,
I've never. I don't. Yeah, in the back, I don't go any less than like a 7. I mean, come on. I mean, it's
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good option for you, especially with you being the age that you're at. Your collagen production is reduced, so the issue of donor scarring is less of an issue as you get older. Dr. Wong
Sure,
used to tell
sure.
me
That's a great point, actually.
that he really likes working on
Old people.
on patients that are 40 and older because there's a lot less of a potential stretch back with
Oh,
strip.
that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
basically
he
we're
used to-
Sharpays in the back at this point.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that, Spencer?
We're like Sharpays in the back of our heads at this point in comparison.
So as you get older, your skin is more loose back there. Is that what you're saying?
It becomes more lax.
Interesting.
And actually your skull gets a little smaller too.
Yeah, that I've noticed.
Yeah. Have you noticed
A
that?
little bit of hollowing in the temples is not fun.
In the side of your temple around your eyes?
Yeah, no, you get temple loss, next to your orbital fat. You lose a little bit of facial fat. That's what worried me about oral minoxidil is you hear all this bullshit about online, with you're gonna have increased facial aging, right? So, as we get older, you're either a sagger or a sinker, right? So facial fat is something you want to keep as long as you can.
Yeah, I guess I am blessed with facial fat.
Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah, you're very fortunate in that respect. So
actually, this guy Anderson, who's a facial plastic surgeon, said something the other day, and he's like, he examines my face on a big TV, and I was like, really? And he said, for some reason, the fat on my face has not dropped, but it has. If I look at myself, I see like more lines here, so this had to have come down. Mm-hmm. But I guess apparently there's some sort of, I maintain some sort of a structure where the fat hasn't slid down my face yet. But I'm waiting for that day. I don't know when that's going to happen because there's a lot of fat there.
No, you have not lost a lot of facial fat over the years, Spence. Very, very lucky. That's just genetics and collagen and elasticity. I mean, it's that's amazing. Maybe could be the alcohol. Maybe that's your best vasodilator, right?
Yeah, it keeps you a little puffy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, brother. Listen, always a pleasure. I mean, you know what you're doing as far as considering surgery. Yeah. Eventually, you may pull the trigger, like you said. Look, if he wants to go to see Manny in London, what's the big deal?
I would definitely consider that. However, would an FUT yield me a little bit more, better results, even in the hands of his skill? With an FUE,
it's going to be a lot.
Right? I mean,
you're going to be able to get a significant number of grafts with much less surface area scarring. That's just the reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think if I'm going to do it, it's going to have to be FUT, and I mean, when they take that strip out, they're kind of manually cutting it, right? I mean, you have to really kind of rely on their team that's splicing those hairs up, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting the doctors. You're not getting the doctors splicing them. You got to.
No.
That's the hard part, right? With a doctor like Manny, he's actually doing the extraction.
Surgery, where the doctor's taking out the strip, and in most well-run clinics, the technicians are already working on separating the follicles with slivers along the side of the strip, and then breaking those slivers down into the individual follicular bundles. And while they're doing that, the doctor is closing up, and then he's making the recipient sites for those grafts to go into once they're finished with the preparation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So technically, when you have a talented doctor with an FUE, you got more doctor touching your head more, throughout the surgery than taking out the strip and then just relying on these technicians
that was a big part of the resistance to FUE back in the day, because essentially, in many practices, a lot of doctors really weren't that hands-on. They learned how to cut a strip out, suture that together or use staples, hand it off to their technicians, and go watch Pornhub or whatever. I mean, there wasn't Pornhub back then, but whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem, Spence. I mean, you know, I don't know what technicians have in fucking relationship problems, and if she slept well or if she went to dinner the night before and had a couple of cocktails. You just, you know, there's so many variables on.
You know,
Have I gotten a hair
surgery that
transplant?
could go bad. What was that?
Have I gotten a hair transplant?
No, I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
We are on the fence. We are on the fence about oral. We're probably the same Norwood, right? I'm right there with you. I've been there with you since day one, man. Since splitting up freaking ProScar. I mean, it's you know, it is what it is. Close to 60 years old and trying to hold off as long as you can. Did I think it would take this long for something other than what we've had for the last 30 years? Absolutely not.
I did. As soon as the 5 years passed when I got into the industry, as soon as that 5-year mark passed where they said it was all going to be over, I'm like, this is never ending.
Yeah.
Well, look, hey, I'm in the Bay Area. I mean, you know, I'm in the Bay Area. I got some very wealthy VC friends that are, you know, they're all in the same boat that we are, and they're close to the PP405 group, but you know, who knows what's going to happen with that?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Well, you tell your wealthy friends
I'm
that
10 minutes from. I'm 10 minutes from the Google campus. I can see the Google campus from my house.
Well,
right?
you let your bros know that I am considering. I keep getting offers for telehealth companies, and if I consider to do something, we will launch it through the American Hair Loss Association with legit product and resourcing. They want to back it. We can make something happen.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, people.
No.
I'm telling you, I'm waiting for certain things to happen. I've been disappointed every step of the way. Companies that are claiming that they're sourcing their drugs from legit places, when it's time for full transparency and they want to write that check, they can't give it to me. And this has happened 4 times.
No,
now,
I mean, I had a friend that's been on HIMSS for 6 months, and he's lost ground.
Of course.
And I'm like, dude, he's taken the chewable with the minoxidil and the finasteride, and he's lost ground. I mean, how this company is even on the NASDAQ is shocking, right?
Well, if you can cobble together about $100 million, we can make something really great happen.
Oh, that's easy.
All right.
That's easy.
We'll see.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
we'll see if you
know,
reach out to me.
Well, the nice thing is these partners at Sequoia that I'm friends with, Sequoia Capital, they're all losing their hair. They want to find a cure too, right? They want a source.
Well, listen, I'm getting to the point now where I've avoided it, and it's a real pain in the ass, and I don't love the liability and all the issues that are involved, and but there's a lot of good people out there. I have access to the right sources with the American Hair Loss Association. We can actually educate these kids well without making these mash-up combinations of dick pills and hair pills and all the nonsense, and provide them with real information. You know, I'm open to it. That's how I feel about it at this point. I had a very frustrating phone call today. And trust me, I'm at a stage in my life where I don't mind just sitting back and collecting checks. I don't want to get involved with anything major right now. But it's impossible.
No.
It's impossible. Everyone's a bullshit artist.
Sequoia's motto is, we help the daring build legendary companies. So let's see if they're daring. If we're daring.
All right, brother, listen. Always a pleasure. I think we have time for one more call, and then we're going to go.
Okay, you guys.
All right, you take care.
Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling, buddy. Good talking to you.
888-659-3727. Yeah, I mean, we could do a lot of good, you know. I have a lot of... There's one company that I think is maybe able to pull it off, but it's taking forever for them to launch. We will see. And like I said, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money involved. And I got involved as if I founded the company, got the right people together, it would be huge. But do I want that in my life right now? Or do I want to just, work on collecting, some licensing fees and just, day drink?
Well, there's nothing wrong with day drinking, so just saying.
All right. People are holding on. Let's see. All the lines are lit. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is James from Texas.
James from Texas.
Hey, James.
What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
It's been a while since I've called. I used to call all the time, but then I took a break. Finally, I think it's been like 2 years since I've called.
Well, I hope the break was good.
No, yeah, it's been great. And it's good for me because I don't worry about my hair as much, and I don't watch the show, even though I love the show and I'm just subscribed.
It's healthier for you not to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And I really appreciate that you guys do it, because there's people out there, and I try to help people too when I come across somebody who doesn't have the education or like the knowledge that I've gained over the years. But anyways, I just wanted to call to give you like an update. I spoke with you guys sometime around November, about 2 years ago, and I got some advice from Joe. It was pretty simple, but it was one of the best things that I've done. And that was simply just to let my hair grow out. I was taking medication, and I was talking about my hair being really thin, and I always like shaved it down. I had it real short, and I would wear beanies and hats and stuff like that because as soon as it would grow a little bit, I can kind of tell the difference in the thin areas, and some areas were thicker than others. And I did have a hairline transplant, 2,000 grafts in the front, so that obviously like transplanted hair versus native hair, you can kind of tell the difference. And so I didn't like the way it was looking, so I would always just shave it and like put a beanie. But Joe suggested that I grow my hair out, and so I didn't think much of it, but I did it, and it was one of the best things I could do because it allowed me to give what you said before, which is the illusion of a full head of hair.
That's great, brother.
And I also use the hair fibers. I use it in the back in my crown area because it's have a bald area, but it got to a point where like at least I don't have to worry about wearing hats anymore or like beanies, and to other people it looks like I have a full head of hair. I mean, it's still thin, kind of like you said, Spencer, about if it gets wet when I get out of the shower, it's thin. Once I dry it up, it's almost like it fluffs up a little bit.
Did you ever did you ever make your girlfriend cry and she gets party face? Yeah, the mascara just rolls down her face, man. I mean,
oh yeah.
This is the reality. We're covering a little bit of our thinning hair, and we can walk out into the world and feel good about ourselves. It's the same, these women are covering their entire faces with makeup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you could avoid surgery, do well on medication, live your life with a full-looking head of hair, then it's basically like you're not balding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Even back then, when I called 2 years ago, I called and I asked the question because it was in the back of my mind. It wasn't a priority, but it was eventually on my mind. But I was considering having another hair transplant, and I brought up like, well, I have body hair in case I have beard, I have, the back of my head, but it's been 2 years and I haven't, haven't had to wear hats, and
I love it.
Feeling good about it.
That's good.
And think about if you would have gone for another surgery and the possible complications and maybe disappointment and shock loss and all the stuff that you just don't need in your life that so many guys, young guys, are going through right now. They've been to Turkey, for instance, and they're already talking about their second transplants, 9 months later, just to fill in, do a top-up. And it's insane when a lot of these guys could have done exactly what you did.
Yeah, I agree. And then the thing is, and the unfortunate part of it is like a lot of us are uneducated. Like I wish it took me a while to even know what hair loss was, like in terms of like my age in my 20s, right? Hair loss is something that people usually think about like old, quote unquote old. When you're old,
well, that's what you think when you're when you're younger than your 20s. That's what you think when you're a teenager
Right.
or something. But a huge percentage of men, it's about 20% under, by 21, will suffer with significant hair loss. About 20% of men.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's a pretty big percentage.
Yeah. And then the thing about it is, I looked at some old videos and I realized, like, man, I was going through hair loss back then, and it was just way, like, 5-6 years before I even started noticing it. Like, but it's because I wasn't educated, and I just wish there was more education, like, in the, whether it's school or I don't know, somewhere somehow, like, hey, these are your options. You don't have to take medication, but this is what happens. Kind of like with women in menopause or things that they go through in life that they don't really think about early on, but it'll happen eventually.
Sure.
And and that I think that hair loss is part of it. And what I learned, and I think taking the medication and the advice that Joe gave was very simple, but it bought me some more time. I mean,
Joe's a very simple man.
So, yeah.
You can't resist the opportunity.
Yeah. So
I'm really glad that worked out for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and I'm not. I'd be lying to you if I said that I don't think about eventually one day having another hair transplant, but because I'm 35 and I first had it at 30, so it's been 5 years. And it's not anytime soon. Like, it's not on my list, but I think the unfortunate part of it is, like, I like to roll and do jiu-jitsu and grapple, and so, like, and I don't get in swimming pools. I don't do stuff like that because obviously, like, I use hair fibers in certain areas, and so I don't know. I feel like maybe one day, just like a little bit of coverage. And
now, have you stopped doing jiu-jitsu altogether?
I have, yeah. I don't do it because when you're rolling around, you get all sweaty and stuff, and like your hair gets wet. And
well, what about finding a gym that no one knows you and not wearing the fibers and just continuing to train?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just have to get over the insecurity part of it. You know what I mean? Like, just being okay with it, I guess.
Yeah, I trust me. I totally get it. I didn't get a professional haircut for years. It was like a decade until I finally decided to get it. And I looked like it was ridiculous. I was cutting my own hair. I mean, I had a girlfriend at the time, which was like, just get a haircut. Would you just get a haircut already? So, I was ashamed to go to the barber. That's how messed up I was. But I totally get it. But you that's such an important aspect of your life if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
That you do not want. Yeah, you do not want to give that up. If you need to find another gym to make that happen, that's a little further away from you, whatever, make it happen, man. Do not sacrifice that. Find a way.
Well, I'll also what Spencer said is a good idea, but let me just give you another piece of simple, a simple idea to chew on. Is if you go to that gym that you like going to, that you've been going to, look at the other guys that are there, and I guarantee you that a healthy percentage of them are also dealing with hair loss. You see the scalp, you'll see their hair that's it's combed or brushed a certain way, and then they're doing their grappling, and they're having the same issue, and no one's giving them shit.
Yeah.
No one's looking at them like they're an alien. They're no different than you. So maybe you can look at it that way and realize grappling's the great equalizer. You're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
You're all the same. It doesn't matter what you look like.
I thought about doing it.
What's that?
Sorry. I was thought about that. That's a good idea. That's good advice. Thought about doing that, but also thought about like maybe wearing like some kind of cap or something that'll hide. I don't know, but
no.
We'll
do
see
that
what I can come up with.
Because when you're in that situation of practicing combat, you don't want that distraction. It's like, oh, I need to sweep his leg. Oh shit, I got this cap on. What if something? It's like, no, you don't want that. You need to focus on what
Look,
you're doing.
I had to give up yachting because of my hair. Okay. So
Yeah, I'm right with you because, but which brings me to, I'm kind of curious if you, because we're in a similar, not quite the same, but similar situation in terms of like, heard you mention your bald spot and you use like hairspray. I use hair fibers and hairspray like every day, but I got to a point where like it doesn't take me very long and maybe like 3 minutes and then I don't even have to use the mirror anymore. But I was curious for Spencer, like what is, can you describe like what you do? And I don't want to give away your secrets or anything to people watching, but like I have my bald spot in my crown area.
yeah,
And also like,
it's no secret. Depending on the day, I will look at myself for about an hour. I may have a cry, then I will shower, and essentially I just blow dry my hair, and sometimes I'll use like some styling clay to kind of like place everything the way that I want it, and then I'll just take a little derm match. It takes like 3 or 4 brushes, boom, 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 check it out, and if it's a little bit too heavy, I'll take a little like either a piece of tissue or like a makeup square or something. Just rub it a little bit just to make sure it's all blended, and that's it. And then spray my hair. It takes less than a minute to paint my bald spot. Probably 15 seconds, unless I mess it up a little bit. I have to fix it.
Where is your bald spot? Like where is it at?
It's where the normal bald spot is. It's a crown.
In his crown.
Like the crown? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's where I have mine. But
Well,
also,
that's one bald spot. I mean, it's thinner on this side, and I mean, there's thin spots, and the part's a little wide. But apparently, I'm not bald enough for some people out there. So,
I tried the derm match, but you can kind of tell that like it's basically I'm just painting my skin, and because the hair like was kind of thinner on it. So what I do is
there's a threshold of density going from derm match to fibers. If you don't have enough density, derm match isn't good for you because you can see what's going on. But if you do have enough natural hair or transplanted hair and it's still thin, it can work great. But if it's thinner, that's where the fibers come in.
and also a secret is they tell you to wet the applicator. Don't wet it. If you put it on dry and then spray it, it kind of gives you a little bit more like a fiber look, even though it's a makeup, even though it's like a brush on. A lot of people wet it, and then they have basically looks like they have like paint on their scalp.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, I kind of exposed like the bald area, like I moved the hair out of the way, and then I pour some put some hair fibers on there, and then I kind of start combing my native hair a little bit over it, and then I put a little bit more on top, and then I use the hairspray, and it kind of just stays in place.
That's a classic move, brother.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
but it'd be good if you could get to the point where you recognize what it is, or recognize it for what it is, and you can learn to push all that aside once you recognize that half the guys in your gym have the same issue, some more or less than you do. And like I said, it's the great equalizer. You go to the gym, there's no hiding because you can't use that kind of product and you all look the same, more or less. And save that for when you're going out socially, when you're going to work, when you're going to going out to the bars with the boys, whatever. And I think if you can do that, you'd be in a much healthier position to where you don't have to give up grappling.
Or even just wear it every day. But when you're going to the gym, figure out a way to just live with it. This is me. I'm going to go grapple. What's your name, by the way? Again?
James.
AJ.
Yeah. So these guys are going to be like, oh, here comes Bald James. Whatever.
Yeah.
Who said that?
How old are you again?
I'm 35.
I mean, and you're not that young. I mean, you're young. You're almost half my age, but you're not that young. I mean, for you to have some thinning hair to walk in there, as difficult as it is for you to deal with, because you want to look at yourself and feel comfortable in your own skin, don't sacrifice this, man. I mean, it's Watch, he goes to the gym and someone breaks his neck because we told him to go. Yeah. He's gonna call us from the hospital. Yeah. Great idea, Spence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, but I'm not that young because I agree. I'm almost 40 or whatever, and I'm starting to get like white hairs instead of gray hairs, and like kind of get them in my head and whatever. That's part of it. I just didn't expect it to come.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost too old to be a cop, a rookie. I mean, you're at a point now where you got to start thinking that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't mean you have to. And first of all, your fitness is vital. If you want to stay youthful for a very long time, you got to work out, brother.
Hey, I have a question real quick. Why did you say almost too old to be a cop? Or is there? Because that's actually what I am.
You're a cop?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I mean by you're almost too old to become a rookie, to join the force. What is it, 40 or 39?
45 in our department.
45, wow. Well, in New York, it used to be 29. So I'm sure they raised that.
Okay.
Well, they raised it because fewer people were trying to be cops.
Yeah, and I remember that to become a sheriff, it was like 40 here in Los Angeles. That was a big deal. Like, oh my God. Like when I moved here, I'm like, I'm still young enough to be a sheriff if I wanted to do that.
Yeah, and they lowered the standards. That's some kind of what we were talking about. Like they're lowering the standards because of what Joe just said, that not a lot of people want to be officers, and it gets to a point where like there's not enough staffing, and you just got to get what you can get.
Where are you located? Can you say?
DFW area. So like right in that area. You want specifics or?
It's up to you.
Specific city. It's a risk.
All right. So listen.
Fort West.
What was that?
Fort Texas.
Okay. So, I mean, I can imagine. Listen, first of all, thanks for your service, brother. And I can't even imagine what you guys have been through for the last 5 years. And sadly, that has really affected the entire country and our safety. And who the hell wants to be a cop when you have to deal with that tremendous disrespect and all the nonsense and kind of basically worrying about doing your job? And I can't even imagine. Now, things are, I think, the pendulum's starting to swing the other way to some degree, but.
Yeah. And then not only that, but like life in official, right? Like when an officer shows up, like everybody, you're at a restaurant, somebody walks in, and like I kind of notice like it kind of gets quiet for like a second or two, and like everybody looks back. Oh, the police is here, and I'm just here to get food or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like get the attention, like you have people like judge you, right? And so when you're dealing with stuff like that, it matters, right? It matters at all ages, but matters to
at
you.
least you're not wearing a
what are they thinking
that has
about
the word ice in the back.
So what happens if you have to take down a perp and you start grappling with them?
I mean, it has happened before, but fortunately during those times I was wearing a hat. So
but
nowadays,
I mean, would you be a little reserved? Like, you know what? I'm gonna let my partner handle this one.
Yeah. I'll just hang back here and talk back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a trainer, and so like a lot of the rookies, I kind of sit back and like have them with their assist.
Interesting.
Do it, but it hasn't gotten like physical. I train people to use their words and just communicate better. That way it doesn't escalate.
But I mean, are you more apt to draw your weapon so you don't mess up your hair?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, brother. Well, listen, again, thanks for your service, man. I'm glad you told us what you do. I have a tremendous respect for police officers, and it's a really hard job now, and I hope that things get better for you guys. And I'm glad that Joe's advice helped you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it did a lot. For anybody listening out there and in a similar situation like me, you're going to save yourself some time if you're considering a transplant, because you don't like how it's coming out when it's short, when it's thin, and just do what I do, right? Like even if it means like kind of giving the illusion, taking some extra steps, but at least it gives you peace of mind. And
dude, I am the Harry Houdini of the comb over, brother. My entire life is an illusion.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And I still get shit for it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not bald enough for Rez. And these other guys that call
keep
in.
Keep in mind, James, that and everyone listening. I mean, it's nice of you to say, and it's very very poignant. But all hair transplants are an illusion.
Yes.
None of them have like, except for in a few rare cases of minor hairline work. The density is not the same as what you were born with or what you genetically had before you lost your hair. They're all illusions. They're all sleight of hand card tricks. So it's very important what you said is people realize that's the truth. It's just a complete shell game.
And the sad part about it is like, I feel like everyone who's had a transplant are all victims of maybe either not being educated in terms of like having the options of taking the medication, that, because if I was educated way back then, like, hey, this runs in the family, look at your dad, it's coming, it's only a matter of time, so just get on this medication.
I think it's tantamount to malpractice.
I wouldn't be here.
In my view. It's tantamount to malpractice in my view. The vast majority of this industry is ruthless, absolutely ruthless.
Yeah.
And no one wants to believe me, especially these new kids who are just finding me and, I'm popping up in their feeds because I'm doing social media now. And they're like, what do you know, old man? All right, listen, whatever. You do you, brother. I'm just here to help those who are willing to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But like how in school they teach like sex education?
Yeah.
I think they need to add and this is maybe it's going to sound ridiculous to someone else, but like it does cause like long term, it can turn into something worse, the mental health,
well, it should all be part of it. It would be interesting to have like some sort of men's studies thing and talk about different phases of life and what could happen. That's not a bad idea. They could do like one day on, it's not going to be a whole thing, but like one day on, male pattern hair loss, male pattern baldness. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then what to look for and then what you can do.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
We can provide the schools with content from the information from the American Hair Loss Association, but they're not going to do that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to teach kids about blowjobs. That's what they're going to do.
They already do.
Yeah. That's what's important in this world. So, all right, brother, listen. Again, thanks for your service. We're going to go. Joe's getting hangry. I see it. It's written all over his bloated face.
Now, yeah.
First of all, you're not bloated. I just think it's funny that he said that. You look exactly the same.
All your fat face.
You look exactly the same. All right, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, you got it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, James. Thanks for the call.
Good night. Bye.
For the people who are holding on, we're not taking any more calls, so you might as well hang up.
It's too late.
Yeah.
5:45 Pacific time.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm thinking about this great peanut butter chocolate pie at this restaurant that I'm thinking about. I went nuts last night. I had a steak and like an entire order of macaroni, like 4-cheese macaroni and cheese from the steakhouse. And that's enough to feed 5 people.
Yeah.
And I ordered it. I did it. I'm like, I didn't go to the restaurant. I'm like, I deserve this steak and this mac and cheese. And I just sat in front of my television in a robe and I couldn't move afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Food coma. We had you just reminded me of the lobster mac and cheese baked mac and cheese I had last weekend.
It's delicious. I love that stuff. Lobster
chunks with nicely baked cheddar on top, mac and cheese. Oh, damn. I'm hungry. That's bad. Oh, that's bad. Anyway.
All right, brother. Listen, guys, until next time, be strong. God bless. And thank you so much for listening. Take care.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the program, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by